Bob Schilling.
And how old are you?
I'll be 85 this month.
Bob Schilling, 85. When did you learn stained glass and why?
Uh, I always liked stained glass, and one of my daughters and me decided to take a class in stained glass, so we took a class, and then I started making stained glass things. At first I made lamps and a lot of other things, but I've always, I really don't remember the year. It was probably 50 years ago.
So it started off as a project with your daughter.
Yes.
Which daughter?
Good question.
Vicky, I'm gonna guess.
No, I think it was Sandy,
Was it?
but I'm not sure. I'm guessing. If it wasn't Sandy, it would have been Vicky, yeah.
When did you start making these?
Well, this one I started when we were busy in Marriage Encounter, and that was really, I guess, the 70s and 80s. And this one I started one Christmas to give my 7 children. And when I gave this one out, I always give a letter what love means to me along with it. And this one I started maybe 2 years ago, the smaller one. I give a letter with this one too. I have 2 letters that I give out. One is for somebody I know is a Christian, and one is for somebody that I don't know if they're Christian or not. So I don't overwhelm them with Christianity.
How many children do you have?
7, 25 grandchildren, and 21 great-grandchildren as of the last count. The 21st was only born a week ago.
All right, what was your inspiration behind the project?
We belonged to a group called Marriage Encounter. It was really a program where good marriages came to be enriched. Occasionally a bad marriage would get saved for a period of time by it, but that wasn't what the program was all about. And we made a marriage encounter, and shortly after we started working on teams. And then we became a team leader. We worked 40, 50 marriage encounter weekends, and the majority of them we were team leaders. And during a marriage encounter, everybody shares some real deep things that they wouldn't go out in the public. They're more or less private things, but they share them, and there's a tremendous amount of love given out by the team, and it's given out hopefully that the people that are attending will absorb and hear some of the things and not be afraid to talk about it amongst themselves. Anyways, because of the tremendous amount of love that was given by the team, I had a stained glass hobby at this time, and I just thought it would be nice if everybody would have some kind of a remembrance. So I started making this love right here. And every team we worked on, I would hand out these to the other people, the other members of the team. And it just seemed that it was something that everybody really, really appreciated, because they had a remembrance of this time. And even though it meant a lot to the people that were attending, I think the people that were working on the weekend were given much more And this was a nice remembrance of that. There's 3 sizes that I made a lot of. This love is the first one for Marriage Encounter. Then I started making them for my children, grandchildren, and so forth, and I made this one. But this one took me 25 to 30 hours to make. First you have to get the glass and cut it big pieces into smaller pieces. Then you have to grind each piece of glass so you don't cut yourself on it. Then you have to fit them into the shapes wherever you're putting it. Then you have to foil each piece, and finally you have to solder it. And that's a kind of a 2-step process. You solder it, and then you go over and you final solder it. Then it has to be taken and put into a frame. At one time I made my own frames, but it's for what you can buy a frame for, it isn't worth it. So now I buy frames and I put them in, put little hooks on, put some kind of a hanging thing. And my wife thought that I should make something a little smaller that's a little easier so it wouldn't take me as long. And she thought I should keep this one really for my family, but I had given her away to a lot of other people too. But at my older age, this is much simpler. It still gives the word love, so today I make these. I don't keep count, but I would say of these right here, I probably made about 80. These, I know this is well over 100 of these, and this one is probably 50, 70. I just try and pick colors that seem to go together. I've given them out to people, and one that somebody likes, the next one doesn't care for that color. And I no longer remember how long this one took me, but obviously it's much simpler. This one took me 20, 25 hours. This one, and I never really timed it, but because I'll cut glass ahead of time, and I've got pieces of glass all cut that I can just assemble it, and then I won't silicone them in until I've got a half a dozen to a dozen. And so I know this one was taking me 20 to 25 hours. This one probably half that time.
What is the meaning of this project?
Good question. I guess you gotta start out maybe when I was a child. I've always been a Christian. I've always believed in God. And my religion at that time was a rather negative thing, that you had to fear God. And my folks loved me, but there was no love between them. My sister was almost 10 years older, and all we did was fight. But can you imagine, I was 6 years old, and I'm sharing a bedroom with my 16-year-old sister. She wanted a little privacy, and today I understand why she wanted privacy. At 6 years old, I didn't understand, and so we fought. And the first time that I really experienced any love, I think, was on my wedding day. Ginny loved me very much, and I felt God loved me, and it was a wonderful day. And it had a lot of meaning to me, and I thought, this is wonderful. I would like to have a little more of it in my life. So my whole life, some people might even say I'm consumed with the word love, but and over the years, Ginny and me have been involved with a lot of different programs, and every program that we're involved with, it seems to help us more than it helps anyone that we're working with. And I've just had a lot of love in my life. My kids all get along together great, and just wonderful. It makes a great life. And I've prayed to God asking for more love, to put more love in my life. And these, especially after, these here were very well accepted by the team. But when I made this and I gave it to all some of my kids, they really appreciated it, along with the letter I gave them. And it seemed to be such a success that I've continued making them for everyone. I don't, at first I decide who to give them to. Now, as far as I'm concerned, the good Lord decides who I give them to. I enjoy life, and I enjoy my life very much, and love seeing people. Getting older and I can't run around like I used to, but I still enjoying seeing everybody. And
You can still love as much as you used to.
pardon me?
You can still love as much as you
Oh
used
yes,
to.
no, that's, well.
You never get too old for that. Or maybe you do.
No,
Maybe
no.
some people do.
I think some people do.
Cool.
Yeah. Some people see God and the Holy Spirit and Jesus are all three in one. I don't understand it. I never will. Maybe someday if I ever get to heaven, I might. But to me, God was the one that created the universe. Jesus came here and he told us a lot of things, and there's a lot of things in the Bible that's very important. But then he sent the Spirit here, and that's who, to me, is the important one today. But there's a lot of religions, Christian religions, that are more for Jesus, and it has more meaning. I don't care which one has more meaning. If you're a Christian, well, whoever has more meaning to you, that's the one you should.
Yeah.
I've committed. There's 27 units in where we're moving, and I told Bo I want to put one of these in every unit along with a welcome letter, and kind of to get everybody. I don't want to tell them what they have to do or what we should do. I think we should all get together and do this, but just as a step one, if they walk in their unit when they're going to move in, here this love is with a welcome letter hanging there, and just that. I think that might have a little influence to feel a little more at home. And maybe we can create a nice community, regardless of religion, politics or anything else. Maybe if we work together and have a little love for each other, we can create. So I'm committed to making 27 of these.
How do you turn on the TV in your room?
With the remote.
No.
Yeah, I can't get TV.
I know. It's complicated. I'll turn it on for you. See, there's.
Oh yeah. Is that the German glass?
Mm-hmm. And I'll make one of these and two of that there, right there. I gotta cut those in a length.